So property tax is the ultimate freedom. We all own our stuff. So if the government takes a little bit from us, including our salaries, don't you feel like that's intrusion on our freedoms? And would you be willing to get rid of the property tax?
Well, we'd certainly like to get rid of the property tax, but I mean, government does have some legitimate functions. You do have to support those. The key is to have it as small as possible, the smallest government possible. If you came up with a different formula where it was some kind of revenue sharing where you could get rid of property tax, that would be fine. I think property tax is almost, basically I think property tax is unconstitutional because it's basically taking your property without reimbursing you. It's kind of like an eminent domain issue. My basic political philosophy is libertarian. So we would probably get rid of almost all taxes and use primarily user fees and voluntary contributions. If you use the roads, you pay a use tax on the roads. We do that with the gasoline tax. If you want your trash pickup, you pay a fee for trash pickup. Basically a smorgasbord where you decide what you want, what services of government you want, instead of the system we have now where they take 45% of your paycheck and then they decide what they're going to give to you. If there's a better funding formula than property taxes, I'd be very interested in seeing it.
It's a good time to go, isn't it?
I got a different story.
Oh, okay. What I want to see is, our car tax, our property tax for cars. Look at gone. I buy a car. I mean, I pay my tax on it. It's done. It's a moving vehicle. It's not planted. I have a big issue with this. I've always had an issue with this. Every time I go to register that vehicle and that tax is staring me in the face, and it's like, wait a minute, I already paid tax on this product. It's like buying a loaf of bread. I pay tax on it. Do I have to keep paying for every slice? I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's ridiculous. So I would like that, to see that going. Speaking of taxes, I'd like to see our sales tax repealed back to 5%, which again was a temporary tax. I want to see our parking lots of our retail stores jammed with Massachusetts plates for a change and Connecticut plates for a change. That's what I want to see. We need to make this happen. This is how this can happen. We can really, it's a competition. This is a true competition between other states. And you know what? We've been losing this battle for far too long because we haven't been in the fight. It's time to get in the fight with these other states that we're competing with. We can win this. We can truly win this. We have every tool at our disposal. We have a beautiful port, ranked number 5 on the East Coast, Deepwater Port. We can have distribution beyond belief coming out of Davisville and Quonset. In addition, we can actually entice a cruise ship company to come here to Rhode Island. We have a spur right there. They can get on the train. We can get on the train, bring you right to the new being built train station right there in Warwick. We have all the tools in Rhode Island to change this state and to make this state what it really should be, and not the laughing stock to the whole country that they see us as.
Being a homeowner and having my property taxes from when I built my house in 2001, from paying a total of about $3,400 to this past year where it's going to be close to $13,000 between automobile excise tax and property tax that I have. And I live in Cranston. When we had our Cranstember payment that we had to make due to the bad administration in Cranston and bad contracts with unions, property taxes are necessary. I want my son, who's 5 years old and he starts kindergarten next year, I want to have the best public school for him possible. But I think a part of the governor's plan, the equitable funding formula that we don't currently have in place in the state of Rhode Island, is a first step. But also having reasonably priced schools, because that's what really drives our property tax costs, is the unfunded pensions that we have and the teacher salaries that we have to pay. And if we can bring those into line and bring it in. People talk about class size. I mean, I went to school with 30 kids in my class, and for some reason I can complete a full sentence. One of the largest things that we have to be able to reform property taxes is the special student needs that we have, where we have an understanding that they need assistance, but having a full-time teacher paying attention to one student with special needs that's making $69,000 salary, plus benefits, plus pension, the whole 9 yards, there has to be a better way. And the only way we're going to do that is by being able to change the faces in the General Assembly. But I do agree, our property taxes are onus. I think that I've heard that there's stat in Rhode Island is somewhere we're like in the bottom 3 or 4 or 5 in regards to property tax burden to individual taxpayers. And we have to fix it. And to that note about tax and tax reform, people are talking about we have to be competitive with our neighbors. Why not be #1 in the entire frigging country? Excuse me for using that terminology, but why not have the lowest tax rate? Why not have the friendliest business environment? Why not try and do that? Because that's what's going to fix our company. We can cut costs, but we need to sit the other side of the balance sheet, which is we need to drive revenue here.
We have time for